Europe was just shaken by an extraordinarily powerful storm of emotions. For days, millions of eyes across major cities watched 7 men from South Korea conquer the continent's grandest stages during their Arirang World Tour. Every chest-thumping bass drop, every flash of colorful light sticks in the dark, and every roar of the members' names echoed through the air, shaking the foundations of Europe's most iconic stadiums. However, the story we are diving into today does not begin amid the thick fog of stage pyrotechnics or the flashing cameras of a sold-out stadium. Instead, this story begins in a much quieter, far more personal moment, without losing an ounce of its charm. Behind the elegant, historic walls of Kensington Palace in London, a place that for centuries has been synonymous with royal tranquility, tradition, and British nobility, the atmosphere suddenly shifted with a fresh wave of energy. BTS brought their signature warmth and charisma straight to the heart of British culture through a special feature on Capital Breakfast titled, "A Very British Day Out." Imagine a contrast so striking yet so visually captivating. The biggest pop icons on the planet, casually gathered around a luxurious setup for a traditional British afternoon tea. Surrounded by fine porcelain teacups, traditional sweet treats, and the cool London breeze. Yet, if you look a little closer at the royal garden, you notice something different. A subtle shift in the dynamic that instantly catches your attention. For the dedicated army who have walked alongside BTS for over a decade, one detail immediately stands out as you look at the seating arrangement at Kensington Palace. There was Jimin, exuding his classic, undeniable worldwide handsome charm. SUGA, sitting quietly with his calm yet sharp gaze. J-Hope, radiating a warm energy that instantly melted any stiffness in the air. Jimin, with his signature soft smile. V, looking every bit like a modern-day prince. And Jungkook, as endearing as ever with his genuine, endearing presence. But where was their leader? Where was Kim Namjoon? Where was RM? Yes, your eyes were not deceiving you. This was one of those exceedingly rare moments in BTS's long international career, a moment where the members attended a Western media interview in English without RM, who usually stands firmly as their spokesperson and primary translator. For years, throughout BTS's global journey, Kim Namjoon has been their anchor in English-speaking interviews. He is the one who calmly listens to complex questions, crafts thoughtful and philosophical answers, and serves as the emotional bridge between BTS and the world. But that day in London, the captain was not at the helm. Naturally, curiosity sparked among fans. What was actually going on? Was Namjoon resting after an exhausting tour schedule? Or was there another important reason behind his absence from this special gathering? Of course, a BTS interview wouldn't truly feel like a BTS interview without an instant dose of humor from the eldest member, Kim Seokjin. As soon as the host noticed the empty spot and asked about the leader's whereabouts, Jin didn't miss the golden opportunity to break the ice with his signature wit. With a completely straight face and his legendary subtle smirk, Jin initially joked that Namjoon was actually fast asleep back at the hotel, having overslept for afternoon tea. Playful remark immediately triggered a wave of laughter from the other members and the staff on set, instantly turning the formal, regal setting of Kensington Palace into a warm, cozy room filled with family laughter. Once the laughter settled down, Jin stepped up as the eldest and offered the real explanation. With a sincere, warm, and proud tone, Jin confirmed that their leader couldn't be there because he was tied up with an intensive filming schedule for a special project titled Fashion Neurosis. When the host followed up by asking if that meant Namjoon was currently the busiest member with his own promotions, Jin simply gave a wide smile and a gentle nod of agreement. It was a simple, subtle moment that highlighted the beautiful support system within the group, where each member's individual success and busy schedule are always celebrated with genuine pride by the rest. Interestingly, RM's absence did not dampen the group's energetic spirit at all. If anything, it showcased the members' remarkable ability to adapt and fill the room together. The high energy reached its peak when J-Hope's infectious enthusiasm took center stage. Alongside popular British radio presenter Jordan North, J-Hope casually turned a quiet corner of the Kensington Palace gardens into an impromptu dance studio. Picture the hilarity of the moment. a world-class main dancer and choreographer like J-Hope patiently attempting to teach energetic K-pop choreography to a British radio host who looked adorably stiff yet wildly enthusiastic to give it his all. The spontaneous interaction between J-Hope and Jordan North was pure, unscripted entertainment. J-Hope guided every step with patience and laughter, while the rest of BTS, Jin, SUGA, Jimin V and Jungkook, watched from the sidelines cracking up at the hilarious sight. Kim Taehyung was thoroughly enjoying every second of the chaotic fun, chuckling softly with his effortless elegance. Meanwhile, Jimin was laughing so hard he nearly slid off his chair. This is where we see the raw, organic chemistry of BTS that can never be scripted. Their genuine bond is their greatest strength, making any moment captivating to watch. However, ARMY, among all the laughter, chaos, and dance lessons in the royal garden, one specific scene managed to steal the spotlight and become an instant topic of conversation among millions of fans worldwide. A moment that seemed simple on the surface but held so much character detail when analyzed closely, all centered around Min Yoongi, SUGA. Team at Capital Breakfast wanted to offer their special guests an authentic, relatable British cultural experience. And in the UK, no casual celebration or gathering is truly complete without an iconic treat beloved by locals across generations: the caterpillar cake, a chocolate-covered log cake shaped like a cute caterpillar, decorated with sweet details. As the famous chocolate cake was placed right in the middle of the table in front of BTS, paying close attention to Min Yoongi's facial expression was an absolute must. Anyone who has observed SUGA over the years knows he has a very distinct protocol or reaction pattern whenever a new food item or unfamiliar object is placed before him. It was a priceless micro-expression moment begging for a deeper breakdown. Let's dissect Min Yoongi's three-step reaction in detail. The extremely cautious inspection. SUGA didn't immediately reach for a spoon or rush to cut the cake. Not at all. His sharp eyes narrowed slightly. His head tilted to one side. He stared at the caterpillar cake with intense focus, as if the sweet chocolate creature were a delicate laboratory specimen requiring high-level analysis. He examined its texture, the richness of the chocolate coating, and the cute face on the end of the cake with the same seriousness he brings to producing a hit song in his studio. The strategic first bite. After a moment of mental calculation and curiosity, SUGA finally reached over to take a small bite with his spoon. He cut off a piece of the thick chocolate shell, brought it to his mouth, and chewed slowly. For a split second, the air around the table felt silent, everyone waiting for the genius producer's official verdict. The unfiltered, brutally honest review. The taste? An overwhelming wave of intense sweetness hit SUGA's taste buds on impact. And of course, SUGA being SUGA, he was never going to sugarcoat his reaction just to be polite. With a slight wince, a mix of surprise and sensory overload from the high sugar content, SUGA delivered his critique. "This is so sweet, way too sweet. You know that sharp headache you get from eating something really sweet?" It was such a uniquely specific description. SUGA didn't just say, "It's sweet." He vividly described the physiological sensation of a sugar rush giving you an instant headache. A response that was quintessentially Min Yoongi. Logical, brutally honest, analytical, with a touch of deadpan drama that made the moment hilarious. Yet, the drama of the caterpillar cake didn't end there. Right after SUGA shared his sweet agony about the sugar-induced headache, the camera slowly panned to the side, catching Park Jimin's instant reaction. Jimin, with his signature calm demeanor and gentle smile, simply nodded his head. No sign of a headache, no complaints about the intense sugar level. Jimin just smiled softly and offered a brief response that served as the perfect counterweight to SUGA's review. "I like it." Two short phrases, two completely opposite reactions, captured perfectly in a single frame. On one side, you had SUGA giving a medical breakdown of a sugar headache, and on the other, Jimin casually enjoying every bit of the sweet cake. That contrasting dynamic is precisely why the bond between the BTS members is always so rich, genuine, and entertaining to watch. ARMY, looking beyond the laughter, the chocolate cake antics, and the fun dance session with Jordan North, this feature on Capital Breakfast's A Very British Day Out held a much deeper meaning for BTS's growth as a global group. This appearance at Kensington Palace proved just how far they have come in their confidence and maturity. Even without RM guiding the narrative in an English-speaking environment, Jin, SUGA, J-Hope, Jimin V and Jungkook stood tall, stepped up seamlessly, filled the space for one another, and radiated genuine warmth to the British public. Language is no longer a barrier for them. The strongest language they communicate in is their sincerity, humility, humor, and natural charisma, qualities that effortlessly transcend borders and cultures. From the beautiful grounds of Kensington Palace in London, BTS reminded us once again why we all fell in love with them in the first place. It isn't just their global hit songs or their flawless high-energy stadium performances, it's how grounded, relatable, and authentic they remain through it all. They are megastars capable of shaking stadium grounds with tens of thousands of cheering fans by night. Yet by day, they are still a group of close friends laughing together on a garden lawn, teasing each other over a cake that is far too sweet, and fondly missing their bandmate who is off working hard elsewhere. Thank you for tuning into this sweet, dramatic, and joy-filled chapter of BTS's journey in the UK. Let's continue to walk alongside them, supporting every step they take, whether they are standing together as seven on a grand stage or cheering each other on in their individual pursuits. Until the next BTS Breakdown, Army, keep that sweetness and warmth close to your hearts.